Listen, big weekend for Man United. How do you think we'll get on, Staffy, against Fulham?
Ooh, tough game. We don't really do well against Fulham. Last time we played them, you guys remember that deflected goal from Martinez. And it was the lowest XG game in the Premier League in 2 seasons. So it was a very, very, very boring game. And just to make it worse now we're actually weaker compared to that side that we put out that day. Martinez, obviously, season's over. Ahmad's season is over. Dorgo sent off last game, so he's going to be suspended. So we're not actually going into the game with a very good squad. Look at Z in the chat saying we did the double over them, Staffy. All right, if you think that meant that we played well and it was a comfortable game, then just don't listen to me. Yes, guys, we did the double. Yes, we'll smash them. There you go. Segment over, Terry. Move on to the next segment. Listen, it's going to be a tough game. Are we home or away? I believe we're away.
Home.
Are we home?
We're home.
Oh,
last time they played you at home, they beat you, bro.
That's what I'm saying. We don't really do that well against them. But listen, Marco Silva.
Sorry, guys. Whoever's got their phone vibrating on their desk where their mic is, could you take it off for me, please? Is that all right? It's really loud.
I don't.
That's Lawless.
It's over there. My desk is there. It's a long desk.
Oh, is it now? Compensating, eh?
That's it. You know it.
But what was I saying? It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game.
You're doing the treble over Fulham. That was it.
Was that?
You're doing the treble over Fulham. That's what you were saying, right?
Well, we could.
No, that's not what I was. That's something that you would say, Lawless. I'm not very confident. Listen, there's a lot going on right now. Our squad is getting thinner and thinner by the game. If it's not injuries, it's suspensions. And I'll be honest, most of these players are not performing well anyways. I feel like we go into games, and there's games where I generally feel like we're playing like with 10 men or 9 men. Like you have Onana, who's right now, he's a ticking bomb. Every time you're expecting a mistake out of nowhere for him. You got Højlund, who honestly, no matter how bad this kid is, it's just like it doesn't make it better that he has generally zero confidence right now. So he feels like an absolute liability on the pitch. You have ex-legends beefing with team captains. You have fans asking for a 17-year-old. See, I almost slipped and said 19. A 17-year-old. They want him to start because of how bad Højlund is, as if this guy's gonna do anything when he matches up with Bassi, Anderson, and Issa Diop. It's not really looking good. I'll be honest. And for a performance that I thought would have been nice last game against Ipswich, because we did start the game well, we were keeping the ball, and we just basically self-sabotaged with 2 goals. Gave them one that might as well would have been. You might as well would have called that an own goal for what Onana did in that first goal, him and Dorgo, and then obviously the second goal where we conceded.
We blame him more for that as well, Steffi. Because bro, there were so many games. Me and Terry were speaking about this. Yeah, like I couldn't watch all the games, so I saw the clip of it. But who would you blame more for that?
First of all, when 2 players miscommunicate, you give the blame on the communication, at least half the blame on them. So 50-50 between them. It's always shared. It reminded me of that clip. Remember Maitland-Niles? Leno came off his line and he was like, why is man coming off his line, bro? That's what I thought of. I'm like, why is Onana come off his line? Because, yes, the communication, maybe Dorgo should have heard the shot or whatever. But when you look at where the ball is going and how the defender has it covered, there is no need for you to run all the way off your line to the edge of the box like that. It was so unneeded. And that's the thing about Onana. Like, Terry was saying this earlier about players who leave United and they play well. I promise you, the minute Onana leaves United and he's no longer in Old Trafford with whatever curse we have over there and whatever hyena we have buried under that turf, the minute he's gone, he will be a normal human being again. Because the lapses of focuses this guy has, I don't know if it's because the club is toxic. I don't know if is it because of the pressure. I don't know if it's because he plays under 75,000 fans every game. He just loses focus. Like, I just generally don't think he uses his full brain capacity when he's playing for United. And his decisions just show it. Like, he's making every wrong decision more times than not. And it unfortunately is going to keep continuing until this guy's gone, and he needs to go in the summer. Like, he's another one of these players. I feel like we sit here every show, every game, every watch along, every reaction, and as United fans, we make a list of who needs to go first. That list never ends, and the priorities on this list changes every game because you never know who's going to have the biggest stinker every game. It's one game Onana needs to be the first one out. It's one game Casemiro needs to be the first one out. It's one game Haaland needs to be the first one out. It's one game Bruno needs to be the first one out. It's a consistency of inconsistencies with these players. I'll be honest with you. And I go into every game, and Terry will probably tell you that we just watched the game and we're like, bro, what kind of chaos we're gonna watch today for these next 90 minutes? Because I'll tell you this: if you're a neutral, bro, just strap in and watch United games. Every game, I promise you, this surprises. We're more entertaining than WWE. I'll tell you that, because when WWE is on, you never know who's returning. When United are playing, you don't know what kind of mistake is going to happen today and what kind of adversity the team is going to face today. We're just like a weekly episode of a series, bro. You never know what's going to happen. So just tune in, bro. Just tune in.
Yeah, man. Howler. That guy's a howler of a keeper, bro. What do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think you're not going to sell him, though? I don't see you lot selling him this summer.
We didn't pay a lot for him, to be fair. So it would be kind of easier to move him on. I think we signed him for like 35 million pounds. Which was like almost 40-something million euros. So, like, when you look at all the bad signings United done over the years, financially at least,
47 million pounds, Staffy. 47 million pound, according to BBC.
Did we pay 47 million pounds for him? No way.
We were heavily interested at first, and he rejected.
Yeah, I remember it being a big fee for a goalkeeper.
No. Was that because I remember what's his
name?
That
was off the back of the Champions League final, wasn't it?
Mo used to be very angry. He was like, we didn't get enough money for him. And that's why I remember it wasn't as... Maybe I'm mixing him up with someone else. If someone can fact check this, I don't remember how much I paid for.
Yeah, I think it's similar to that amount of money. Listen, I'm not really worried about selling players. We will sell players, you know. Yeah, we just will. We will make a profit on the sale of someone like Onana, no. But I do think moving him on is a priority, because I think to grow as a team, we need to try and be stable at the back. And I don't actually think we've been a side under Amorim that's been peppered on a regular basis. Even in the games we've lost, for instance, you think about the Forest game and the Brighton game recently at home, the scorelines at 3-2 and 3-1 don't look great. But the goalkeeping errors in those games were just unbelievable. The Forest game, we conceded early from a corner, which is poor. We've actually kind of sorted quite a fair amount of that out in recent weeks, barring the... whoever we played, the Everton game. But then we get back into the match with a better side. Second half begins. Gibbs White has a shot. So simple to catch, and the goalie dives the literal wrong way. And then there's another ball that's crossed in. Really simple for the goalkeeper to come and catch. He doesn't, stays on his line. Bang out of all the goals that Wood has scored this year, heads it across, and it bounces 4 times and goes in. I look at that and just think that isn't a free at the back issue. That isn't a system issue. It isn't a coaching issue. It's a goalkeeper making bad decisions. Those 2 goals were his fault. If he doesn't make those, I think the game's different. We're playing Fulham. Yes, they're 2-1. Brighton. They've had that number for years, really. But we're playing them. We're in the game. We're creating opportunities. Simple ball crossed in that he should be holding on to. Lets it go. It's 3-1. The game's over. I just think that if we took out Onana and we just put... Alisson might be a stretch because of how good he is. We don't need a goalie that good. If you put Sells from Nottingham Forest in our goal over the past 4 months, I believe in the league even we have an extra 6 to 9 points. Us with an extra 6 to 9 points right now takes far more pressure off this team than we're currently under. So I feel like a goalkeeper is really important. In terms of this game this weekend, though, it's probably the biggest. You've got Newcastle versus Brighton, which in terms of quality this season is probably a better game. But it's the biggest clash of the weekend, United-Fulham. How do you see it going, Lawless? Do you think United will get through it, or do you think Fulham could sort of end any chance we've got of a trophy this year?
Fulham, I think, have won 4 in their last 5 games so far, so they're on a good run. It's just they've always got that blip, you know what I mean? Them games you expect them to win going into, like against us, where we beat them. They've got some issues in terms of errors at the back and playing out from the back that I think that Man United could potentially exploit. So it's a hard one to call, but I have to say Fulham are the favourites. You know, you've just mentioned Onana, who's always good for a howler, defensive errors that you've had, and that pressure at Old Trafford that seems to be affecting the players as well. There seems to be a pressure there that I think is getting to them. So if I had to go one way or the other, I just think Fulham at the moment are the more complete team. So I have to go with Fulham. But
they'll have the better team on the weekend, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
mind you, by the way, with
Fulham
Dorgo,
are
now
funny
we're
one,
going
man.
back. We're going back to Delo and Mazraoui on wing backs, which we know for a team that already struggles to score goals. Now we're going back to the defensive-minded wing backs. So it doesn't help us whatsoever. Like, you shouldn't really expect a lot of goals from United this weekend. Like, we had two
I don't
center
think
backs
there'll be a lot
score
of
for us
goals
last
either
game.
way.
That's how bad it is.
Available.
Our
I'm gonna check
scorers
if
are
it's
center
available for
backs. Say that again. Sorry.
It's going to be one of them games that's 0-0 for a long time, and it's just going to take that one goal to break the deadlock. And if I look at either team with the firepower, like I just think Fulham at the moment have that proven quality. So I would have to go. It wouldn't surprise me if Man United shithouse to win on this one. They've done it a few times. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, Fulham, it's on them. But you know what I mean? Like, imagine, Man United. Maybe it's going to be the case like Ten Hag. You're just at the moment a cup team. You weren't great under Ten Hag. You weren't really this bad, but you did it in the cups. You did it in the competitions. So
what's so crazy stuff here? You spoke about your recent record against them, but you've actually beaten them 4 times out of the last 5 games. They've only beaten you once.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Okay, Don, I agree with you. But you know what it is? For people who just looked at that and didn't watch the games, I can remind you of about 3 of these games ended on a last-minute goal. I remember the Garnacho.
I remember the Bruno one last year away as well.
It was a Bruno one last year.
Yeah.
Garnacho the year before, the Martinez deflected goal. Like, every game, we're like, oh shit, we left with 3 points. None of these games did anyone look how brilliant United were today.
True.
Like, I feel like every time we took the 3 points, they were probably the better team. Which is why, like I'm saying, like, it hasn't been easy games.
I don't trust Fulham though, man. Like, I think they've got better players up top right now in terms of their attack, because United's attack's one of the worst in the league, right? But it's who's he gonna start? Is he gonna start Muniz? Is he gonna start who's the other guy that they've got? The one that's played for Wolves. Jimenez. Jimenez. He didn't really play that well last time you played them. You know what I mean? And Traore's hit and miss. Like, one game he's very good. He's direct. He's
always a Wobie that turns up against us.
They've just got, what it is about Fulham, they've just got a lot of inconsistent players, isn't it? You know what I mean? I feel like they've got a lot of players, but you don't know what Fulham you're gonna get. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't trust these lot to beat United. I'll be real. I can just see United scamming a win somehow. Fulham have the better players, like I said right now. They can put a better team together. I just don't trust them, Staffy. That's what it is for me. I just think you're gonna scam it somehow. Yeah, and like you said,
trust Man United more than Fulham.
No, of course not. But what it is, I've seen these lot against Fulham, like what Staffy's saying. Yeah, I remember that goal, Bruno, last minute outside the box, innit, away last season. Yeah, they were so shit that game. All of a sudden, Bruno just bam, magic. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man.
I think
hope Fulham turn up.
They don't mean anything, John. Like, what they did last season, we should take that for this season. It's different circumstances, different players, different management in some cases. Like, so yeah.
But they played them the other week at home, bro. Fulham played them at home and didn't lay a glove on them, pretty much. Like, the whole game, the XG, I don't think they even had an XG of 1, both teams. It was the deadest game. I'll never get that 90 minutes back. It was so bad, right? I just don't trust Fulham. Their players are very inconsistent. But if they turn it up, then I think they'll beat United. But
they do work for something. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we don't match up well against them. Their physicality, especially the way what's his name? The coach. I always Marco Silva. I don't know why I always forget his name.
I would say Marco Ruiz for some reason. Marco Silva. Yeah.
Yeah, he just the way they set up against us, it's just always a difficult game. When we play Fulham, and I'm not gonna lie, he was very angry over the last game. When we beat them, so he's gonna seek revenge. The biggest issue we're going to have again, bro, is I feel like this is going to be a very similar game to the Everton game. Ipswich didn't match the Everton physicality, which is why we didn't struggle against them like that. We will struggle, I think, this game with the physicality that they're going to bring in the midfield. And that's when I worry. They have Lukic, they have the Wobie, they have Senderberg. They have players that can run that midfield. And that's when I worry, because we're shorthanded once again. As I said, now we have a suspension, and we were already shorthanded to begin with. And it just was going to be one of those again where we're going to be like, which midfield are we playing today? Ugarte has to play like 90 minutes every game now because he's the most physical player we have in the midfield. And you're always caught up in that dilemma. Should you play Casemiro in the midfield or should we play Bruno deeper? And I keep saying this. There's no circumstance in 2025 where you try to convince me that putting a double pivot of Ugarte and Casemiro is ever going to work. That guy's an absolute liability. They talk about Bruno, but they never talk about him. And I'm actually so sick of it. because Casemiro is 10 times worse than Bruno.
Staffy is like, you know, at the moment now, the be all and end all for your season. Like, all the eggs need to go in that basket because you can't get relegated. You can't get into Europe. This could be the one sort of bit of, I wouldn't say it would redeem your season, but winning the FA Cup would definitely make up for a lot of it. And then, you know, you get a trophy.
It'd be nice to win a cup but I'll be honest with you, Lawless. I'd be delusional if I look at my team and I think we're good enough to win any of these cups. There's way too many better teams than us right now that are better prepared and better equipped to win these cups. And I know what people are going to say. I got this on my channel all the time. Oh, but you're dropping the standards. Brother, I'm sorry. It's just saying the word standards doesn't debunk everything I tell you. I sit here and give people every logical reason why we are not better than some of these teams, but they're like, yeah, but I have standards. Well, I'll tell you what. Put 11 players and name them standards and put them on the pitch and let me know if we're going to win games.
Yeah.
Because that's the only solution.
Would you prioritize the cups, though, Staffy? Like, rest players in the league.
It is not up to me, Lawless. I love when people say that. Like, when people say prioritize, brother, I can go out there and put all my focus on my prioritizing on, I don't know, fucking dating like Beyonce or something. Guess what? No amount of focus and prioritizing I do is ever going to get me that. It's not really. It is not in my hands. I'm not a good team.
Where I disagree with you slightly is I think right now we can't. I think we need some more points in the league. I think if we could get